Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick review, tabletop review on the Spyderco Tenacious today um, with HCR 13 MOV steel. Um, Spyderco does a really good heat treat on their HCR 13 MOV steel. Um, I'm sure there's lots of videos out there, but I just wanted to put in my 2 cents. I've had this one for probably 3, 4 years, and as you can tell, it's held up fairly well. I keep a good edge on it. When I do use it, I strop it, so that way I don't have to constantly keep sharpening it on a stone or use a sharpening system. So there's the blade. It's a 3-inch blade, Spyderco symbol. It's a liner lock. Got pretty good lockup right there. They come with bronze washers, bronze phosphate washers. They don't use the plastic washers. When they use the bronze washers, it makes the knife, a lot smoother, in my opinion, than using the plastic washers. Does got a pretty decent pocket clip. Uh, Made pretty well. I haven't broke it, bent it, nothing like that. Still got really good tension. And like I said, I've had this for about 3 years. So top of the pocket clip comes up to about here. So you got about that much. It'll be sticking out a pocket. Um, One good story I got on this knife about this knife is I had a plumber here one time and he was changing some hoses. And he's like, "Hey, you got a knife I could use or a pocket knife?" And I had this Spyderco Tenacious. I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I give him the knife, and he's cutting the line, and then it's like the inside was getting harder. He's like, "Man, this stuff's pretty thick." Well, come to find out, the inside of the rubber hose had a braided lining. So instead of the metal braid on some of these plumbing lines they use for toilets and stuff like that, was actually on the inside and not the outside. And believe it or not, he actually used this knife to cut through the braided line. And it did it. And you know what? It did not do barely any damage to the blade. It did dull the knife, but there was no chips, no major rollover, nothing. I was really surprised. And I've used this knife a lot, and it has held up to the test of time. Um, you can also take it apart. It's pretty easy. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 screws. You can take it apart, clean it, put a little bit of oil in the pivot, and it's a pretty smooth knife. So I just want to do a quick review. It's nothing special. I'm sure there's lots of videos out there on the Spyderco Tenacious. It feels good in pocket. It's a small knife. It's not a large knife, so if you pull it out, in public, people are gonna freak out. And also, if you wanted to, like what I do is if I want to oil the pivot area, you can actually put a couple drops of oil in here, and it'll actually get down to where the actual washer is, and it'll oil the washer here. So most of the time, if you're going to oil a knife, you put a couple drops in here and you work it back and forth till it gets smooth. But with the Spydercos, I can actually put grease down in here, and it just makes it easier to grease it. It's got some nice jimping up here for your thumb. So when your thumb sits there, it's really comfortable in hand. I wear a size large gloves, and it just fits my hand, but it's very comfortable. Feels really good in hand. You gotta do some fine cutting. I mean, there's no problem whatsoever. Bench grip, cut something small. I gotta do some fine work with the tip or something. G10 scales. Like I said, it's got the liner lock. They do make aftermarket clips for Spyderco. Lynch Clip is a company who they make several aftermarket titanium clips, so you can get a deep carry clip for it. You can also take the clip up here if you don't want tip up carry. You can put it here. So you got a point there, you can put it there, you can put it here. So you got 4 different spots where you can actually put the pocket clip on the knife to where you want it. One thing I will mention, which to me I find very important, is Spyderco uses Loctite, blue Loctite. I would recommend heating these up before trying to loosen them, because more than likely, if you don't, you may strip out your torques or even strip out a screw. You could use a heat gun, to try and heat these up. You would just want to soften that Loctite so you can get it to break loose. Or you could use a soldering gun. People will take a soldering gun, put it on the screw for, say, 10 seconds, take it off for 10 seconds, put it back on 10 seconds, take it off, put it on, and then try it. If it feels like it's going to loosen, then go ahead and loosen. If not, heat it up more with a heat gun or a soldering gun, just a tip to loosen these, so that way you don't strip them out. I said they do use Loctite, and a lot of the times, with the Loctite that you use, these screws are very difficult to get off. So I would recommend heating them up before you try to loosen them. It's going to save you time and hassle in the end, But I've had this, like I said, 3-4 years I've had this, and I've taken it apart maybe 2 or 3 times just to clean it, because the phosphate, the bronze washers in there, they will get dirty, and then when you take the knife apart, you can actually see like some of the dirt and the grime and the wear on the washers. So you basically would take them off, lightly clean them, or take them on a piece of sandpaper and just scrub them a few times just to get them clean and shiny again and get the knife working pretty smooth. You can thumb flick it, you can finger flick it. If you want to see a video of me taking this apart and showing you how to oil the pivot area and clean these washers that are in here, just leave a comment, let me know. Let me know what you think about Spyderco. If you own a Spyderco, let me know. I know there's a lot of fans out there that love Spyderco. I got a couple of Spyderco knives. They are nice. They're made very well. They fit the hand very well. Spyderco definitely takes time in listening to their customers and what their customers want in the knife, and they usually listen, and they make knives to the customer to make the customer happy. They're not a company that just dumps knife after knife after knife after knife. They have a lot of knives out there. The PM2, PM3 Spyderco knives are very popular. They got compression locks, which are on the top. Um, so this is the price on these are probably around $30 to $50 for a Spyderco Tenacious, but it is like I says it's HCR 13, but the edge holds up pretty well. I mean, very good for HCR 13 MOV. So it might go duller. It might get dull faster than say S30V or 390 or D2 steel. Maybe. Uh, it'll get duller faster, but it's easy to sharpen. It takes a couple minutes to sharpen. Like I said, if I use it a lot, I'll strop it and it gets sharp again. And I usually don't really have to sit down and sharpen it on a stone or use a guided system. Take care of your knife, it'll take care of you, you know. So, I think my next video will be probably this Wednesday coming up. So, my next video, I'll probably show you how to start a fire using Vaseline, cotton balls, using a ferrule rod. So, that'll probably be my next video, I think. So, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, do me a favor, leave a comment. What you think about Spyderco. There's a bunch of groups on Facebook, Spyderco Facebook groups. They got buy, sell, trade groups on Facebook for Spyderco. It's a very good company based here in the USA. Some of their knives are made here. Some of them are made in China. So a lot of people don't like knives that are made in China. If that's the case, you know, you could go to the Spyderco website. They'll tell you if the knife's made here or if it's made in China. They'll also say on the spine of the blade. This one, it's kind of hard to see because it's faded, but it says HCR 13 MOV and then China. And I polished my clip a little bit. So, like I said, it's a really good knife. It's handled a lot. I would definitely give Spyderco a try. This is 2023. In their brochure, they have a lot of new knives coming out to hit the market. And a lot of these new knives that come out with look really, really sweet. Hopefully I could get my hand on a couple to do reviews and show you guys what Spyderco came out with this year. Like I said, go on the internet. They have an online catalog you can also check. So that's about it, guys. It's already going on 13 minutes trying to review a simple knife. Yeah, like it says, you know, if you can, I would definitely give it a shot. Spyderco Tenacious. It's a small knife, feels comfortable. It always finds its way into my pocket. You know, it's a knife that I'm constantly grabbing. Even though I have a bunch of different knives in rotation, this is just one knife that for some reason you just grab and it always makes it into your pocket. You know, I got other knives that are a lot nicer, but this knife is just, it's comfortable in hand. It's got a good steel that was heat treated very well. It holds an edge very well for being HCR 13 MOV. So if you got the extra, you know, whatever it is, 30 to 50 bucks that these run, depending on where you get them. If you want to buy one used, I would suggest going to eBay. eBay's got a lot. But you also have to be careful using eBay because there can be clones out there. And clones nowadays are so close to the real thing. It is so hard to tell a real Spyderco to a fake Spyderco unless you know what you're looking for. So I would, do some research and make sure that the knife is Spyderco, or he's a reputable dealer, or he's got good reviews, or he's sold 1,000 different knives. I wouldn't trust somebody that's got 10 reviews or 10 stars, and you're gonna buy a $50 knife, and it could be a clone. It couldn't. Just be careful, on what you're doing, who you're buying from. So please like this video, share it. I know my boys ain't the best. I hope this video helped you. I hope basically told you basics about the knife. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me. And like, subscribe, and share. Thanks, guys.